Words Plus Minus here. Marcus Thompson. I'm not only with my boss, Tim Kawakami, I am in his domain.
Unbelievable. Kawakami Studios. I think
That's
this is
right.
the first time Marcus has ever been in
First
the
time I've been here. I did not get arrested.
Yeah, we were calling. Security was. I had to give him the secret code to let him through.
I did not get arrested, so we're good. We are good. But hey, if I get arrested, you might be getting arrested too, buddy.
For letting you in? Wait a minute here. We didn't know you were going to be that wasn't in the covenant that I signed.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't part of the paperwork.
We let one person of color in here, not two.
We are a highly diverse community here. We will not say where we are, but we're highly diverse, accepting of all. So don't want any of your aspersions cast our way here.
I'm casting away,
Cast
baby.
away. Cast away.
So
But sure. I traveled to Oakland how many times to do this podcast, so good to have you on this side of the bay.
That's why.
At least once.
That's the only reason I actually came, because I was like, he's going to say, how many times do I come to Oakland? So I was like, all right, shut up. Just go.
So it's a lot, by the way. It's a lot.
No, it's not close.
It's a lot.
It's a nice, and I didn't have any traffic, so it wasn't a tough drive.
It saved some time for me, and I get to edit some stories for my bonus here.
I'll take care of you. So, Nick Young. He was 3 for 14 in I think the first game without the 4 All-Stars. Last night he had 12, 10 coming early.
Yeah, so it was like 4 for 4 and then 0 for hot. A lot.
Is this how much of this matters for the postseason? And I wonder if the Warriors brass are starting to get worried that he may not be able to produce in the postseason.
Well, I think they're definitely worried that he may not produce. But I don't think they got an option. What's their option? To put, Patrick McCaw might have been
Cook
but for all that we criticize Nick Young on his defense, he's at least 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5",
and he can kind of stand and get. He's got his arms in the way of some things. He's loses focus. He's not always hustling, but he's 6'5", and we know that Steve Kerr
6'5" makes opponents not say go attack him.
Now they
right?
still kind of the best guys can, but some like the secondary third tier guys don't go at him.
If you look at Quinn Cook, it's like everybody's going to say, "Hey, mouse in the house."
He's too small, and he's not, he's not a veteran NBA guy. So they just can't play him. Let's just say they can't play him and Steph ever. And you can fake Nick with Steph, and Steve did it all the time to close first and third quarters, last 4 minutes when Clay sits. So they're really, the other option is Patrick McCaw, and he's going to get minutes, but he can't shoot. He can't shoot. It's a problem. So Nick Young, I think, just for the foreseeable, is just see if he can make 2 shots in a 4-minute stint,
and get hot one time.
And then he gets hot one time.
If he has 2 good games in the playoffs, that's worth $5 million.
You have to assume. Well, it's not worth $5 million.
It's worth the $5 million to them. That's what he's here for.
It is why he's here for. It's why, and there's no one else to do it. There literally is no one else. I was talking with an NBA executive. What else would they have done other than give him 5.2? Now, they could have given him less, but I'm saying, what else could they have done? And he said their only other option would have been to bring back Ian Clark. That was it.
No, who else was out there? Tyreek Evans was out there. But he
didn't really want it, right? He didn't want the gig.
He took 3.
Yeah, but I think he thought he was going to be a starter there.
Yeah, no question.
And he kind of was, or is. But I think
I don't know if
Tariq
they
Evans
wanted him.
Yeah, Tariq Evans is better.
I don't know if they wanted him, though, at the time.
Tariq's agent used to be?
Bob Myers.
Yeah, so
I don't know how they can't go hard sell on Tariq Evans and convince him.
Yeah, that was for some reason. I don't. We both.
I just thought he would get more money.
Yeah,
I thought he would get $10 million, and then he ends up getting a 1-year deal for $3 million, and it's like, well, why you didn't get him?
Yep.
But maybe they thought he would get $10 million and didn't even try.
Yeah, I just didn't even hear his name with them, and the other option was bring back Ian Clark, which they weren't going to do. So it just. They were limited. That's
0 for 2 right there. Because I take Ian Clark.
I think I would too at this point, and he wasn't $5.2 million either. But there isn't anybody else. Someone has to play those minutes, and that someone Kerr is always going to be that person to be 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", and it's Patrick McCaw or Nick Young, and it's not going to be Patrick McCaw. I think we've all seen it. He can't shoot the ball. He can't finish. There's some issues there. And even then, like you say, okay, he's defensive minded. Go put him on. He's not that good defensively right now. He's not. Just go put him on Chris Paul.
Definitely can't put him on a Kyrie type.
No.
Yeah.
So it's Nick Young. They're just going to have to see if he a couple games he'll shoot him in, and a lot of games he'll shoot him out. And then You're not killing the team one way or the other because it's still going to be Steph, Clay, Durant.
That's what it is.
He's just a supplement, and I don't think they can go with anything else. And then maybe in these games, while all these guys are out, and I know Durant's going to return tomorrow, he gets that game where he makes 5 and he feels good going into the playoffs. He's going to keep shooting. We know that. The one thing I was noticing is he's never on balance when he shoots. He
does not shoot on balance. He can't shoot on balance.
And
if he starts on balance, he's going to take himself off balance to shoot.
Strange to me, but maybe that's who he is. And
which makes him not a good catch and shooter.
It's like he's coming off screens, and he's not. It's like Clay squares up. That's what he does.
Nick leans left. Every shot is like a fade. Yep. It's like a fading to his left shot.
And at this point, at this age, he's not good at it anymore.
The part that's odd is, hey, he said himself, playing with the 4 All-Stars is kind of hard, which was surprising to me. It's like, Nick Young, you're here because you don't have a conscience, right? So now you get around these All-Stars and you have a conscience. And then they leave and you can't make shots.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Right? It's like, so I'm like, okay, this is your time to kind of build your comfort. He's not producing when he's got unlimited shots and opportunities, and he's not producing in the limited opportunities. Now, look, we both know playoffs are a different beast. And if there ever was a time that you could kind of shift the mental gear and say, all right, the regular season doesn't matter, these Warriors can do that, right? And he could just probably try to get in some other zone. But you got to start wondering, is he going to be able to do that in the playoffs? Yeah. If it's you and Quinn Cook and you look at each other and say, look, we got to go get 50. I mean, what better environment would that be for Nick?
It's like a full game of garbage time.
Yeah, go get
full
50.
Game of it.
Me and you, Quinn Cook, let's go get 50. Yep. Now, Quinn Cook is getting his 20.
Yep.
So now I'm starting to wonder if playing with the All-Stars is puts a lot of pressure on him. He said it. He said, literally, I told myself, I got to stop acting like a punk out there and just shoot it, right? So he's intimidated by being with the All-Star. No All-Stars. He's struggling with his shot. So now what happens?
He needs half the All-Stars. He
needs 2 of them.
No, not too many of them, but not none of them.
And you throw in playoff pressure. Yeah, it's very surprising to me that the guy who we've all known to be without a conscience, carefree, how this is weird to see him first struggling to get his shot off, wanting to shoot, hesitant about shooting, now not taking advantage of I don't know what's the mental makeup of Nick Young going into these playoffs.
It's not good. I mean, I literally think before all these injuries happened, Kerr was just trying to steal minutes with him. It wasn't even I might get some just steal minutes because there's no one else to do it, because Caspi couldn't do it because McCaw was hurt and not scoring. And that's really what it. Even with this group, with none of the All-Stars out there, he's just out there. He's a body out there. Come on, Marcus, we get the phone going here, and it's just he's just biding time until they can get the right guys back in there, and maybe he steals a game. I think they're assuming he's not going to be good. That's literally what they're doing with him. They're assuming he's not going to be great. Ian Clark, what was Ian Clark for those 2 minutes that he would play? It was okay, he's probably not going to be real good.
But he'll give us a backdoor cut.
Exactly, and then you have to defend him, and then we're going to get Steph and Clay back in there. And that's kind of what Nick Young has. They were hoping to upgrade from that, and they did not. And they probably went down a little bit in terms of consistency. But I just think they wanted a bigger guard. They didn't like playing. Ian is small, and Kerr likes bigger guards. We know this. And Sean Livingston, and we know Myers does. Sean Livingston, those are his kind of guards. McCaw is his kind of guard. And so Nick is just not fit into that. And Nick certainly doesn't fit on that second unit at all, because that's a brainy unit. He was supposed to be on that second unit, kind of that brainy, but he can't fit with David West, Sean Livingston. No way.
The unit says, hey, man, we need somebody to score. Nick, can you score? What? This is what I do. I'm 11 years in, and somehow
can't do it.
He can't do that.
Can't move. I don't know what's going on there, but
and he's playing. It's all going to go away. He's going to have 20 in a playoff game in Portland. He'll have
podium,
right. He'll have a couple podium games, and it'll be Swaggy P. This is why we're here.
Yep.
And if he does that, hey, fine, right? Go.
Yeah, I'd say the over/under of that is one of those. One of those games. And
two makes it worthwhile. 3 is,
and if one of them is Houston,
right.
Houston, that's
man.
that counts as 2.5 right there.
If he gets 3 of them, he gets a new deal somewhere else.
Yes, not from the Warriors.
No, they're not signing him, but somewhere else he can get a new deal. I don't think he's.
No. If he has half a good game against Houston, that's all they can expect, and not be disastrous.
And
otherwise,
to be clear, half a good game is making the open shots
yes,
he gets.
Yes,
It's
two
not
or three of
go
them.
and guard James Harden or Chris Paul. It's not rebound. It's not pass the ball. It's not get triple doubles. It's make the open shots
and
you get.
Kind of bother Eric Gordon when he's out there, but don't have to stop him. That's all. But I don't have high expectations for this. It's just getting minutes. But you know what? That's where they're down to. Just get minutes. Just get them minutes.
Speaking of high expectations, Steve Kerr comes out.
Podcast favorite.
We can beat anybody without Steph. The 96 Bulls, the Showtime Lakers, Bird, Parrish, McHale, Celtics.
Bill Russell, Celtics.
You bring them on.
Line them up.
We can beat them without Steph. If you're Steph Curry, what are you thinking?
I'm getting back. Yeah. Oh, yeah? And I'm getting back in there. It's all so blatant Kerr motivation. He's definitely out of the first round. Come on. And even if it's true, that to say it is such
He's totally
motivation.
prodding Steph.
And we can beat anybody without is so motivational. It's two things, right? You motivate the guys who aren't Steph. Like, yeah, he's right. We've won. You know, we've got Kevin Durant, we got Draymond Green, we got Klay Thompson. And it's motivation for number 30, saying, wait a minute here. I know he's just trying to motivate me. I understand this intellectually. But to hell with that. Watch when I come back. Watch that. Was he yelling in Portland in the overtime? I'm back.
Yep,
we're gonna see that. Then he hurt his knee again, and we went through a whole other process in 2016. But this is just the way Curry.
Did you read that in a book or something? Like,
I don't know.
I'm back.
Yeah, there might have been.
He read that in a book, huh? Yeah.
I think there's a book to be written about that. I don't know if it's been done yet, though. There's a book.
It's been done. It may not have been done right, but it's been done.
There's a book to be written about.
It has been done. I don't know. I wonder. I did wonder if he felt a sense of. You know, I remember you wrote because you were in the locker room while I was out gallivanting.
Yeah.
You were in the locker room.
I had to step up for you there.
After the game when Steph got hurt.
I wrote about the Giants and Madison Bumgarner the same day, by the way.
So, you know.
And Marcus did say, hey, you want me to write on this Steph major injury?
And you're like, I'm here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to write about it.
It's like, I'm here. But you described the locker room as a little down and people were maybe...
Yeah, it was different. It was definitely different.
Definitely
they knew this was different. Did
Kerr sense that and say, "All right, I need to rally the troops"?
Well, he didn't. That night he was the same.
Yeah.
He was just kind of, oh, okay. Well, if we get Steph back, and we'll have to get through it. I mean, he was as down as they all were. But yeah, I think he wanted a little shot. But it's not just that Steph's out. It's Draymond's out, Klay's out. I think Durant's out. I think he just wants the team to say, hey, wait a minute. We are still the Warriors.
Yeah, let's remind people.
Yeah, we are still.
Poor Durant. We've forgotten about Durant.
That guy, is he on a team still? He just does podcasts now. I understand. Not ours though.
No, it's coming.
It's coming. But I think this is cursing. Look, we're still who we are, and we still got Hall of Fame talent. We know they're not winning the championship without Steph. How about Larry Riley going on the radio and say, "Oh, there's no way they can win a championship without Steph."
I wonder why would Larry Riley say that.
I always say, "Why are people talking to Larry Riley?" But that's just me because I'm mean.
Because Larry Riley drafted Steph Curry.
He drafted Steph Curry. I think there's a guy in Maui who actually drafted Steph Curry, but that's a whole other piece. Someone should write a story about reconstructing that whole thing. That's what should happen. Someone did do that.
It's never been done. They should do it.
I also think they know that Steph is just this presence that is, everyone knows is they're just going to plug him in and they're going to be the Warriors again. So they're just kind of biding their time for when, and they want the right Steph back. They want and of course he's going to be motivated. It's a playoff, but they want the Steph with a chip on his shoulder, and we all know he gets
Angry
it.
Curry.
Yeah, we all know he gets it. We all know. And it's like the Michael thing. Like Michael knew he was just kind of making up stuff to be motivated, to be angry. And Steph does it in a different way, but it still does it. It's still motivates them. Like, oh yeah, okay, here's the real Steph Curry. You're gonna see it at the end of the first round, or where we're gonna see
Remember that? Like you would hear, somebody would say something in a note, or somebody would write something, and you'd be like, oh yeah, Steph saw that.
Yep.
He's gonna go off.
Yep.
And it was almost every time.
It was like these like random players too, right? It was
random.
Yeah, it was random. I think backup 2 guard or something.
It's oddly enough, they probably needed this to get back to that though, because it's been a kind of blasé season where they knew they were good. When's the last time we looked at the Warriors and said, "Yo, they might actually lose a playoff series"?
Yep.
It's been a long time since you felt that way, and maybe they needed this to get back to that. Oh, we got to play, because I don't know if I necessarily agree. I agree with Kerr that they can beat anybody.
A single game.
Yes, they can beat anybody, but I also think they can lose without Steph.
Yep.
If they come against Oklahoma City without Steph, that's going to be a problem.
And that might be partly of again Kerr saying this. Like, we might not have Steph for this first round. It might be tough. Might even be for the start of the second round. We can't just say, like Durant was saying, Steph is the system, Steph is it, and we all say this and we all write it because it's true. He doesn't want his players going, oh, we're down 6.
We don't have Steph.
We don't have Steph. Forget it. You know what? This isn't going to work. And when is Steph coming back for Game 4? We'll lose Game 3. It's you can just see it. You can think it through. It's just everyone knows it's just conversation. It's not real, but it does motivate guys. It does drive them in a certain way. It does hit certain levers, and that's what Kerr's doing, and that's what this team does. And Draymond, I'm sure Draymond's doing it. That's what these guys do. They find ways to make them get their mind into a certain situation. And these next, 8 games now?
Yeah.
That's what it is. They're just kind of waiting for it, and then it'll be when Steph's ready to play. And when is Steph going to be ready to play, by the way?
I think he's going to be ready in the first round. I don't think he's playing.
Yep.
I think
now, down 2-1, is he playing?
I think down 2-1, especially down 2-1 on the road for Game 4. I think he plays. That was the same situation against Portland.
But they were up 2-1. They won the first.
That's right. They were up 2-1. That's correct.
They won the first 2, lost,
then they got handled a bit,
destroyed,
and it was like, if they win this game, this is a different series.
Yep.
So down 2-1, I think he plays. I don't know what teams will have them down 2-1. I got Oklahoma City.
Yep.
That's possible.
God, Steph coming back. They're down 2-1
in Oklahoma City.
Oh God, that would be rather large.
In Oklahoma City,
that would be rather large.
Wow. You think Denver? I mean, you think San Antonio with Kawhi could get them down 2-1?
I don't think San Antonio's the same with or without Kawhi.
I really don't.
That's a mess, and I don't.
It's really weird to say because I felt like this last time. Then they were up 20.
Yep. 24.
Yeah, right.
24.
It's like, wow, but I just don't know.
Kawhi had played most of that season, and it hadn't been this whole thing. I just think that's one where you get them down 2-0, it's over. There's certain teams you get them down 2-0, it's not over. That team, you get them down 2-0, and the Warriors are good about that. Like, we just figure out a way to win the first 2. We got this series. This is why I think the Houston series is going to be. What if Houston gets them down 2-0, which really could happen, and Steph's just coming back, and he's a little bit wobbly. Warriors have never been in that situation. Never. They've never been down 2-0, 3-1, ever.
No, they were down 3-1 Oklahoma City.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They responded pretty good on that one. Okay, other than that one.
One time they were in that situation.
And they've never been down 2-0. So,
never been down 2-0, no.
It's just, we'll see
They've been down 2-1 twice.
To Memphis and to Cleveland, right?
And then they were.
And Oklahoma City.
And Oklahoma City. They were down 3-1 Oklahoma City.
And
that's it.
They have never trailed. Right, other than those series.
No, that's it. That's it. That's the only time they've trailed in a series. They didn't trail at all last year. Obviously.
And I think they're essentially undefeated in games 5, 6, and 7, except for
2016 NBA.
Cleveland. Yeah. Other than that, they're almost perfect.
You said other
than that one. That was all right.
We're going to take a quick break for a word from our friends at Hims, a new wellness brand for men. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? I know some of you Warriors fans have used that line when talking about a certain Eastern Conference rival, but it's not funny when it starts happening to you. 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it? Luckily, we've got a solution for you. forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss and more for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. No weird snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. These prescription solutions are backed by science. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's so easy. Answer a few quick questions, a doctor will review and prescribe you products, and they are shipped directly to your door. Now is your chance to order. Warriors Plus Minus listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds of dollars if you went to the doctor or pharmacy. So, go to forhims.com/plus. That's forhims.com/plus. Now, back to Warriors Plus Minus.
So just let's dabble in some conspiracy theory and then some conjecture. You know, I know Steve Kerr is probably not going to like this, but Steve Kerr is on the record saying Durant, LeBron, and Kawhi are basically the three best players. He said two-way. You know what he meant.
Yep.
You know, Steve Kerr forgets to mention Steph Curry at the cellar, and now he's saying Steph Curry, we can win without him. Is this just...
Here's a question. Would he have ever said that about Durant? Ever?
I mean, does he have to?
No,
They've already won.
I know,
Durant.
but he would like
What?
from this.
Is there something there? That's what I wonder.
Yeah.
Is there something there? Part of me is like, nah, there's nothing there, but then it keeps happening.
It does keep happening.
And it's like, maybe there is something there.
I think part of it is that we all write that it's Steph.
Yeah.
That we do. And he sees it. And hey, he took this job because of Steph. I know that. He was telling me before he took this job how great Steph was. So
He tried to draft
to
Steph.
him.
Somebody should write that story.
Someone should write that story. Should talk to him and get all the quotes from him about he and Nelly. But I think it's like he does. You know, they do hear it over and over. They love Steph. The players all love Steph. Durant came here because of Steph. Draymond is Draymond because of Steph. Clay is Clay because of Steph. But maybe and Steve is filtering it through his mind, saying, you know what? It's not just him. We do need someone to say it's not just him. Interestingly, you know, nationally, who's the most written about person on the Warriors? It's Durant. It's not even
KD,
close.
yeah.
But locally, it's Steph. But the people that, you know, cover this team in an informed way, it's always Steph. Steph is the central figure. Always has been. He got the mega contract. Durant took less and took a one-year deal. And it's just the way, the order of things. And everyone gets it. But maybe, whether it's subconscious or right on the top of Steve's mind, and maybe others, maybe Joe Lacob, like isn't always, they don't want it always to be Steph, or you're done. Steph, or you're done. Steph, or you're done. They want it to be, look at this other great roster that we put together, including Hall of Fame players. Maybe, whether that's front of mind or back of mind, that might be part of this. And also, I think Kerr knows it motivates Curry. He knows. Like, he just knows.
I totally think that's it. I think he went up on the podium and made it public that he's not playing, in part because he knows. Like, how many times does Steph lobby to play?
Yeah.
Like, this is what they do.
Yep.
Steph lobbies, Kerr's like, nah, wait one more game. Yep. Need to get a couple practices. Nah, coach, let me play.
And I don't. It's like, okay, you know what? Let's go talk to Bob. That's not even like he allows Steve to win. It's like, let's go talk to Bob. Because it's a tie. If Steph says one thing and Steve says another thing, it's a tie.
And Bob Myers breaks it.
Yes.
It's just, it's so interesting that, and that part of this is, I mean, let's be honest here, part of it is because you can do this stuff with Steph. He's not going to, I mean, can you imagine if anybody ever said that about LeBron?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, who else could you could probably say that about Clay. I don't think Clay would.
Clay. And you know what? Draymond would, like, be fiery about it, but he would get the intellectualness of it.
Yeah.
Durant, you probably couldn't say it about. And, you know, there's a lot of people you couldn't say it
There's
about.
a lot. Can you say that about James Harden? You
could not say it about James Harden. Couldn't say it about Chris Paul. You know, it's an interesting, you could have said it about Tim Duncan. It would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Duncan would have just like, what the hell? You could say it about Dirk Nowitzki. There's other guys you could say it. But, yeah, Steph, it's, okay. But he's going to remember it, too. And he's going to come back. He's going to
they can say what they want now. He signed for 5 years, $201 million. It's like, what you gonna do, Steph?
He's gonna
With a
hold
no
out.
trade clause
Hold
and a no player option.
Yeah, he'll hold out. Forget about it. It's a
really interesting dynamic, though. That
an interesting
you
point
can kind of use Steph as the punching bag to motivate others.
Yep.
Or you can say stuff and people like me and others on whatever might overreact and be like, oh, he did this to Steph. And Steve Kerr can always go to Steph and explain what I really meant, and it'll be fine, like it always is. Yep. And he may not even mean that, but it's just interesting when you see these dynamics and these relationships, and you really have to be careful about saying that stuff because they might take it the wrong way. I mean, we see LeBron and Tyronn Lue arguing on the bench.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when has there been a roster like this where you could have done that? But can you imagine? Oh yeah, we could win without Kareem. We could win it. We could beat anybody with it. I mean, it would be over. He wouldn't have showed up for the next game. Or Shaq and Kobe. Oh my God, haven't covered that. Oh my goodness.
Who
I can imagine Shaq saying
that about. Who could you say that about?
Neither. Oh my God. I can imagine Shaq saying it. By the way,
we could win without
Kobe.
Kobe practically said it.
Kobe,
right?
In different stages of their career. Yeah, Kobe would not have said it early in his career, but late in his career, absolutely. He would say, "Get Shaq the hell out of here." But I'd say Duncan, and that's again when Kerr talks about Duncan and Curry being parallel. That's what he means. That you can coach through these guys. That they accept a lot of things and they think it through along with you, and they're motivated.
And they don't let the outside kind of dialogue impact their relationship. I don't know about Duncan very much, but I know it's almost impossible not to at least feel the slight. The question is, you don't let it be that big of a factor. Yeah. So it's not like, I don't know, Duncan, I presume he's a human, which means if you slight him, he probably feels it. It's just not, he can like rationalize it away. I know Steph I know he feels it. It's like, ouch, that hurt a little bit, but like, whatever. And
he still says a key smart stuff.
Yes, he still will bring up. Remember AC Law played over me as like he feels it.
Shout out Key Smart.
The question is like he doesn't let it dictate the relationship or kind of burn it.
Yeah, he understands what words are
absolutely
and what actions are, and words are words. Sometimes they mean a lot, sometimes they don't. He understands there's a difference. And when it came down to it, the Warriors paid him the ultra max.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't even a negotiation. And they know when there's someone to do something to speak for the team, it's Steph. And Steph has done it and will continue to do it. So, but a lot of guys can't do that, no question. Like Damian Lillard, if someone said, we could win without Damian Lillard. I mean, he'd go crazy.
I'm out.
He'd go insane.
I'm out.
And most of us would. The Athletic could win without Marcus Thompson.
All right, bang. Where you at? Can I get a call? I'm calling okay, let's see then.
I can't do the Kerr. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I withdraw.
You could do it though. You could do it because you come to me and tell me what you really meant. I'll be like, all right. As long as I get that super max, we're good.
Well, let's get off that topic.
I'll be like, look, man, I could run this thing without TK. You'd be like, okay.
Yeah, you got it. I thought I would say that.
Okay. Get up at 5:30 and then go to sleep at midnight.
Edit this guy, edit this guy, edit this guy, edit this girl.
How about let's do it for a week?
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast. It's a whole other podcast. No, I just think maybe the other players kind of watch all this too. Like it affects all of them too. Like they know it's Steph, but there's a coach saying it's all you guys too. And Draymond loves that, and Durant probably likes that. Clay, who knows? But
and that's Steve's thing.
Yeah,
it's always
everybody.
Been his thing.
It's everybody. Everybody.
It's not even just the 4 stars.
No.
It's all of the guys
absolutely.
On the bench.
He feels important that they all feel part of this, and they can be ready to play. And it drives fans crazy when he plays everybody. But he's going to. He wants them all. Like he cares who's practicing hard. He cares who's leading.
He praises who practices hard. And Kevon Looney's having the greatest camp of all time.
It just and who's vocal during shooting drills. This is all important to him. So this is the Steve Kerr thing. This is how they've operated and how they will continue to operate. But I'm going to be curious. Get out of this moment in 3-4 years, and Steph is there's a decline as it always is. What's the relationship then? What's the conversation like then? That's we all are in the middle of this, and it's hard to imagine. But when this thing turns a little bit, will he remember some of this stuff?
There's no question he will remember it.
And you will remind him. That's why.
I certainly will be asking. So, man, after all those years,
I can play you back Steve's comment. This is right here. I don't know. I mean, I would be mad. I don't know.
That would be great column for The Athletic in 2025 or whatever. The 30 greatest slights in Steph Curry.
Steve Kerr. 2, 6, and 11. Keith Smart's 1. Keith
Smart's got to be
Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. There's a lot of them.
Oscar Robertson's up there.
Oscar Robertson.
That'd be great. That'd be great. 30.
Mark Jackson.
Oh wow,
man,
yeah.
That one. Those are the ones that he.
Man. He still brings that up.
Yeah,
Not bad for somebody ruining basketball. Right?
Yeah.
Like the ruining basketball
on
line.
Twitter.
The ruining basketball line got to him.
Yes.
Oh
boy.
There's no question.
This is a good column right now. Actually,
it is
right
actually.
now.
It is a good column. So here's an interesting thing that happened in the locker room last night. I'm looking at talking to Quinn Cook, and he's putting his sleeve on his left leg.
Yep.
Right, and I was like, Quinn, are you hurt? Yep. He's like, no, I'm not hurt. And I was like, I'm not saying you're out, but are you bothered a little bit? And he's like, yeah, I gotta bruise it. I don't feel it during the games, but I feel it after the games. And it made me think, like, this is all a lot and very sudden to just say, hey, you're going from never playing to carry the team.
Yep.
And then playoff basketball, if he's a starting point guard, is carry the team. You got to start one. I'm starting to wonder about that. Like that.
Yeah, no question.
That's a load. And we're looking at players like Draymond and Andre and Sean Livingston who have to, like, get this maintenance so they can play. Is it a safe bet to put Quinn Cook in there for 30 minutes for a 5-game series?
Who else are you going to put in there?
You probably start Sean Livingston.
You could, but I don't think they want to do that. I mean, they want to lock
for the very reason, right?
Yeah, they want to maintain him. So maybe you're not playing Quinn Cook 30 minutes, but you're playing him 24. You up Sean from 20 to 26. And Andre
30's the cap, right? Remember
yeah. Well, that's right. Well, that was with the injury stuff, right? Oh no, that was just when he was
like 30.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, Andre Iguodala shooting the ball, playoff Iguodala. I just think they're going to rotate around. It won't be Quinn Cook go save us. They can't do that. It doesn't matter who their first round matchup is, but he's going to play. And he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. But, I'll say, he played a lot of minutes in G League. It's not like he was playing. He was the third guard in the G League. And he's played in big games at Duke. He's won a national title at Duke. He wasn't the main guy, but he's been on those teams. So I don't think this is not like throwing, some random guy out there. He's always looked and felt like a pro, right? I mean, he just seems like a guy, not a super talented player, but a guy that isn't going to get out of his mind in some of these tough moments. Now, he made a couple shots last night, then threw up a crazy 3. He's going to do stuff like that, but everybody does that. He's going to be okay. Not going to be great, and he's going to lose.
They just need him to be okay.
They just be okay. Don't lose the ball. Get him into the offense.
Don't lose the ball.
Make open
shots.
And everyone else, if he's got Clay and Draymond and Iguodala and Durant, they just fold in with that. Can they win a second-round matchup with him and not Steph? I don't know.
Depends on the matchup.
Yeah, depends on the matchup and how well all the other guys are playing. If Durant,
could they beat Portland without Steph?
I think that's one they could look at just because the guard matchups are so interesting. But it's up to Kevin. And is Durant going to be dominating? Right? Is Durant going to be the guy? And isn't Harkless out now?
Yeah.
So I don't even know who Aminu can guard one of those guys, but he can't. They don't have guys to guard Clay and Durant. So. Yeah, I think they could beat Portland in the second round without Steph. I think it would be hard. We saw them last. It's just not. That's a bad matchup guard wise, but I think they can get through the second round. But I don't think they're going to want to, and I don't think they will. They will have him at some point in the second round. In my opinion,
Steph will be back for Game 4.
Game 4 on the road, close it out. So if they're up 3-0,
he's not playing.
If they're 2-1. Different thing. We'll see. But hey, they're lucky they got Quinn Cook. If they didn't have Quinn Cook, what would they be doing?
Sean Livingston, 35 minutes.
Yeah, and that would not be good for them. I just don't think it wouldn't be good for Sean. Sean did it 2 years ago, and he was good, but then he wore down in that playoff, remember, and he's 2 years older, and it looks like it. I love Sean. It looks like it. And him in a limited role is much more important to them than trying to extend him and getting much less bang for the buck with him. And Quinn Cook is their way to do it. Now, whether Quinn Cook plays 30 or 16, I don't know, but it's going to be somewhere in there.
It's going to be interesting to see how he responds to playoff defense, Quinn Cook.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of it.
How does he handle
pressure?
The scout saying, all right, here's how we're going to attack Quinn Cook. How is he going to deal with screening and moving and some of that stuff that really matters when you have 4 All-Stars and you're trying to create shots for them? Like, one of the things with Nick Young is it feels like he's in the wrong place a lot of times. And Caspi, the same way too. Armory Caspi, guys are just kind of in the way. And when you're trying to get space for these great shooters, you don't need to be in the way. So I wonder how he's gonna handle that. It's about to be a lot on him. But in the end, this is all about the All-Stars. And I was trying to figure out who's under the most pressure with Steph out in that first round. I feel like it's a lot on Clay, because his offense is going to be that much important. You can write Durant down for 25 because he can get it even when he shoots poorly. Clay is different, though. Clay's kind of got to be feeling it. You probably need
and we've always talked how much better he shoots when Steph's on the floor with him than when Steph's not on the floor with him.
But if they lose a first-round series, Durant is getting crucified.
Yes, no question.
So, who is under the most pressure? It's got to be Durant.
Durant just because he's always the focus, right? I mean, even if Steph plays and they lose, it's going to be on Durant. But if you ask me, Draymond is always the second most important player on that team. So if you take Steph off the floor, Draymond is the most important player.
He's even more important if you can't score like that.
Yes, he's got to go stop somebody, and it can't just
be people. He got
multiple people. Absolutely, and tell everyone where to go and initiate when he can. Shoot, we'll see. I don't know that the shooting's ever going to be there this season, but he is the second most important player of the team. If Steph isn't there, Draymond is the spirit. He's the defensive guy. He's the initiator. He's a rebounder, which they could use.
Yes.
He's the tough guy. I think Draymond drags them. If it's a tough first round and they don't have Steph, I think Draymond. We'll be writing that Draymond dragged them through this. Draymond's the one who had a meeting at halftime and started yelling at him. Draymond's the one who hit a couple threes that were really important. That's the guy that I think means the difference between winning a close game and losing a close game without Steph. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Durant could just go for 45, and that's true. Unlike anyone else in the league almost. But if we just say game to game, if you don't know that Durant's going to go for 45, who's the most important? And I don't know if I would say it's pressure. I would just say the person that I would expect them to, those 4 possessions that change the game.
It's going to be Draymond.
I'd say it's Draymond. And if he's at a high level, they win the game. If he's not at a high level, they might not win the game.
I think about that. If Draymond is playing well and the defense is playing well and KD goes off, it feels like the difference will come down to who helps KD on offense. If he scores 40 and nobody else is scoring and it's got Andre Iguodala's got to make shots and
David West.
It's got to be. It's clear already that the bench, the second unit offense, or any offense outside of All-Stars, is probably not the most reliable offense, right? Yep. Maybe that changes in the playoffs, but if it's not, and you're asking KD to go get 40 to even supplement Draymond's great defense, Clay's got to make the shot. He's got to support. Because KD could play great, and he's still going to need some help on offense carrying this whole load. But I think you're right that Draymond is the most important player without Steph. He might be the most important player with Steph.
He's
if you really value defense and what he brings, and you say what.
Well, in the playoff, what is playoff? It's matchup. That guy's going to score because he's great.
Let me go.
We got to stop that guy. We've seen, Utah could not stop Durant last year. That was the whole end of the series. That was it. Once you couldn't stop Durant, it was over.
That was literally that was it though. They just kept running.
Okay,
had no
there
answer.
it goes. Draymond is the guy, not necessarily specific every player, but he's the guy who says, this is how we stop this guy. It's over. That's a guy, we're taking him out. I'll go double team Harden, the ball come out of his hands, and then we go. That's playoff basketball. Draymond is a playoff basketball player.
No question.
He did it with LeBron.
Iguodala's in there too.
Iguodala's in there for sure.
Yeah.
But
those two together, when they're on, it's pretty
playoff.
special.
And that's why Hampton's 5 works so well. I mean, that's why the small ball worked before they got Durant. Those two guys. Everything else flowed around them. And as you wrote, is Draymond up for 30 minutes a game as a center? He's going to have to be because they're going to go to it. But was Zaza terrible last night, by the way? Oh, my God. I don't know that they can play Zaza in the playoffs. At all.
Who's the matchup?
I mean, it ain't Houston. We know that. He's playing 0 against Houston.
Minnesota, probably.
Minnesota can bang around a little bit, but, he's going to chase Karl Anthony Towns around for how much? Gorgie Jang, he's going to light him up.
He's going to be in there.
So, he's going to play against Utah a little bit, but he's not going to play very much. JaVale will play a little bit, but not that much. It's Jordan Bell and Kevon Looney. You look at the tough series, those two are going to play.
Houston Looney's definitely going to play.
Those guys are going to play 20 minutes a game against Houston, if Bell can stay healthy, by the way. But there's going to be a huge need for Draymond Green to play center because they can't trust these other guys. I don't know how much they can trust Bell. They're saying they're going to trust Bell. We'll see. And Draymond, it's you. It's your with Steph at 100% or not 100%. Man, it's Draymond Green. The more I talk about it, the more I see it. It's just look at the tough teams for them to play. If Cleveland makes it through, Kevin Love's their center. If Toronto makes it through, they play Valanciunas some, but he's not
especially not to close.
Not to close, and he's not that big a deal.
That's a guy you put Zaza on.
Yeah, well, but no, he stands at 3-point line sometimes too. I don't know.
He does shoot. Yeah, he does shoot.
I don't see that as somebody they have to match up against. So
Boston, Al Horford. Somehow they should make it.
Yeah, it just is a Draymond Green playoffs. It's what it is. And I just see this. I just watched Zaza last night. He's not playing the playoffs. He's just it's cameo at best. And JaVale might be like, oh my God, you got to take him out. So then where you go? Looney and Jordan Bell. Those are your centers. And David obviously started second and fourth. But other than that, man, I just think that right now Zaza is Varejao level, and that ain't good. That ain't good.
He's been there for me.
Yeah. Well, not Warriors fans though. They all love Zaza. They all want more Zaza minutes.
It's so hard.
Nothing I tweet about the Warriors gets more support than when I criticize Zaza Pachulia. I'll just put it that way.
It's so hard to deal with big men. You make a cut, you give them a good pass, and they're not even trying to make the layup. It's like,
they have no chance.
I'm going to. I'm going to turn and throw it up and try to That's
how the whole flood happened in the third quarter last night. Pachulia gets, one of the first possessions, he gets a nice pass, one bounce at the rim, completely misses the layup. They go right back down.
Dunk. You just can't have that. You cannot have that.
And that happens.
There's no amount of good screening, no amount of passing to make up for the fact that when you get the ball inside of 3 feet, it might be it's a very low percentage of it happening.
Yep. That's what I thought Damian Jones was going to be good at, but so far it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
we'll see next season.
That's going to be an interesting one for me.
Next season.
Maybe next season. Yeah. I'm just gonna lean on Clay just because they're gonna need him. And Clay really lives a charmed existence with these Warriors because it's Steph, it's Durant, it's Draymond. If he plays well, it's like, wow, Clay is great. If he doesn't, it's like Kevin Durant is great, Steph Curry is great, right?
Yep.
It's never
and all the other things Clay does.
Yeah, right. It doesn't. It's never like, wow, they really needed Clay. And he, he could just kind of mask with that 16-point game, and he plays great defense, right? So, but without Steph, they're going to need Clay to score.
Yep.
He just has to do it.
It's got to be from 3 too.
He's got to make shots.
They got to stretch. They got to space the floor.
No question.
Without Steph, you see that it isn't. And there's going to be times when
which is why I don't think Clay's leaving either.
He's not
like,
leaving.
this is too great.
He's not leaving.
Like, does Clay ever get criticized?
He gets I hear it from some people, not media people.
There was a time where he was regularly
he doesn't make it when it's big. He makes a wide open shot.
That was before KD, though.
And also Game 6. How about Game 6? Every time I still get him. So people still criticize him to me.
Hey, that's great. Like, you know what? I think he should get a pass for Game 6. That pass should last for a long time.
Yeah.
That Game 6 pass. Yeah. That gets you a lifetime membership into the club.
Has ever done that? Yeah.
That's lifetime membership into the club.
For all the greatness of Steph Curry, he's not ever done that.
No. And not at that level. Not when you're out. I mean, Game 7 was a great game by Steph, but it wasn't the February 27th game, right? It wasn't that regular season game.
On the opponent's floor with everything that was at stake. And then win the championship. We keep going that, but it was a bigger game than they've ever played. And it wasn't for the championship. So that one for me is like, okay.
And Steph closed that game.
Yeah, Steph played,
but
it wasn't there. It wasn't there to be close.
Clay went.
I
mean, he just got hot at the most opportune time of all time, and you should get a lifetime pass for that. That's why I don't think he should. That's why I don't think he's leaving, because I think he knows that.
Yep.
Like, he knows I'm in a great spot. When I play well, it's great.
Yep.
And when I don't play well, Kevin Durant is really good. Did you watch him? Steph Curry is really good.
Or it's when you both don't play great, you go, oh my God, Durant played terrible.
Yeah, right.
That's what it is.
Durant.
So, come on, Durant.
This is a trial. I get to sneak out the side, maybe do a couple
podium some
interviews.
Guys wouldn't want that. Some guys would want, hey, come on now, look at me. I put 31 up. Forget about everyone else. But that's just Clay's personality. It fits perfectly with the situation.
And where could he go and get anything remotely close to that? Wherever he goes, he's going to be expected to carry.
If he's signing for $30 million,
he's going to be expected to carry the franchise.
Absolutely.
And what happens when Clay has to be the one to go to the podium?
Yep. He's not going to after going 2 for 16 and losing losing game 2 at Staples Center. Yeah, he understands. And again, he doesn't like it. He probably wouldn't love that it's phrased like that. But he gets the situation. He's, by the way, a superstar in China.
No question.
And he likes that. And it kind of makes him different. And he kind of likes that too. You know,
It's quirky. It's a quirky way to be an NBA star.
Yeah, he's done it a different way. He's done it in not the same old Adidas, and he went to Washington State, by the way.
Right, yeah.
So all these LA guys don't really even think of Clay as an LA guy. He did some other path. He's got the whole Caribbean thing with his dad.
Yep.
It's just a different way, and it just fits perfectly. He's got the house in Oakland Hills. He can play with Rocco. We can go play golf, not play golf.
He can just slip out.
He's in with Steph and Andre on the golf.
Yep.
He plays Augusta, but he's not a golf guy. He's got all these different.
Clay's whatever guy he wants to be.
Exactly, and that's a great thing to be, and that's why he's not going to get spent. You got to trade me to a place where I'm going to need to make $30 million. He's not there. And
I don't think
he's better for it.
If he wants the money, he certainly doesn't want all of the other stuff that's going to come with it.
Like if you could tell him you could get the money and stay here, I'd do it. But I don't think he can get the money and stay here. Not that much. He's gonna have to take it. He's gonna have to make. He's already said he would. He said plus minus.
That's correct. All right, I love your place, but I gotta go.
Man, we do the longest shows.
I got things to do.
All right, everybody.